For 2.5 million years, the Earth's climate has fluctuated, cycling from ice ages to warmer periods. But in the last century, the planet's temperature has risen unusually fast, about 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists believe it's human activity that's driving the temperatures up, a process known as global warming. Ever since the Industrial Revolution began, factories, power plants, and eventually cars have burned fossil fuels such as oil and coal, releasing huge amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. These greenhouse gases trap heat near the Earth through a naturally occurring process called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect begins with the sun and the energy it radiates to the Earth. The Earth and the atmosphere absorb some of this energy, while the rest is radiated back into space. Naturally occurring gases in the atmosphere trap some of this energy and reflect it back, warming the Earth. Scientists now believe that the greenhouse effect is being intensified by the extra greenhouse gases that humans have released.
In fact, the IPCC Fifth Assessment Report says that 97% of climate scientists agree that climate warming trends over the past century are very likely due to human activities. These human activities include driving cars, using electricity, and producing the goods that so many of us use in our daily lives. Many of these activities release greenhouse gases, which include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases. These gases trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, which results in a warming of the Earth. Averaged over all land and ocean surfaces, Earth's temperature warmed roughly 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit from 1880 to 2012. Because oceans tend to warm and cool more slowly than land areas, continents have warmed the most. There are many environmental effects from this global change in temperature. Global climate change can cause desertification, erosion, wildfires, flooding, and decreases in air quality. It can also cause the timing of seasons to shift and habitats to change. This can harm species. The polar bear, for example, lives on ice that is melting due to the rise in temperatures. The melting ice also affects the life of ringed seals, as they depend on sea ice for their reproduction and livelihood. More than just Arctic animals, global climate change has already affected many other species, such as cold-water fish, waterfowl, and the now extinct golden toad. Of course, climate change affects humans as well. It affects human health, human society, and the global economy. Some groups of people will be affected more than others. The elderly are particularly vulnerable to rising temperatures and the disease that comes with temperature rises. Climate change also affects those who live in areas prone to storms, drought, or sea level rises. Entire communities may be forced to relocate because of global climate change. Economically, global climate change could negatively affect many professions whose livelihood is dependent on the weather. Those who work with agriculture, tourism, or real estate, to name a few examples. The Stern Review predicted that the overall cost of climate change could be a loss of 20% of total world GDP. By contrast, he predicted that reducing emissions to prevent the worst of climate change would only cost 1% of global GDP. Overall, global climate change harms species and wildlife, as well as humans. It will affect human health, society, and the economy. Too much damage has already been done to our atmosphere to prevent some of these effects, but it is important that we take steps to prevent further global climate change. This requires investing in green research and development. We must turn to renewable sources of energy that don't pollute our atmosphere and research ways that we can live sustainably. This will require a social and political effort across the globe to be truly effective. It is important that we make these changes before it is too late.